Hi, friends. Welcome to the Awesome Algebro. Today, we're going to be taking a look at how to write equations if we're given a graph. The first place we need to start is what is an equation and how do equations kind of break down? All right, equations have two parts. They have a slope and they have a y-intercept. And the most commonly used equation for this is the familiar y equals mx plus b, where the m is the slope and the b is the y-intercept. Now, what does slope and y-intercept mean? Slope is how much the equation increases or decreases over time. Or when you think about it from a graph perspective, how much does the graph go up or how much does the graph go down every time? And the y-intercept, very easy concept. The y-intercept just simply asks, where does the graph cross the y-axis? So the y-axis is the one that goes up and down. X-axis goes left to right. So it's simply asking, when you have a graph, where does it cross the y-axis? Now, first part we're going to look at is slope. Now, slope is determining how much the graph goes up or goes down. And the most traditional slope formulas are delta y divided by delta x, which is basically how does the y-axis change compared to how does the x-axis change. And that's also used with the familiar formula, maybe you've seen it before, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, those two formulas are extremely helpful in determining slope, but sometimes it can be a little tricky when given a graph. So we're going to use a much easier formula when we're trying to use a graph to come up with an equation. And it's the easy formula, maybe you've heard of it, rise over run, which is the same concept of delta y over delta x and the formulas above, but it's a lot easier to use when you have a graph. So rise over run just simply ask the question, when you have a rise, how many spaces did the graph go up or did the graph go down? If the graph goes up, positive number. If the graph goes down, negative number. How many spaces did it do that? And the run is simply how many spaces did the graph go to the right? Now, with that being said, we're going to take a look at a couple of examples to see if we can come up with rise over run very easily. So let's take a look at a couple of graphs. Okay, so when we have a graph like this, and you can see the graph is in red, and we'll just take a look and see what are the easy steps to solve for this. Okay, first step. First thing you want to do is see if the graph is going up or going down. Now, we read graphs from left to right, the same way you read words. So if we're starting from the left and we're going to the right, we're just simply trying to see, is the graph, going in an upward slope or a downward slope? And in this case, it's clearly going in an upward slope. So if the graph is going up, that's a positive number. But if the graph was going down, that would be a negative number. All right, step 2. Pick 2 exact points. Now, pay careful attention with this. When it says 2 exact points, notice on a graph, there's a lot of squares, just like if you were to have graph paper. When you want to make 2 exact points, you need to choose points that are at the exact corners of the squares. Not in the middle, not on the side. They have to be at the exact corners of the squares, the exact intersections. For instance, this would be an exact point because that is at the exact corner of those squares at the intersection. And another one would be here. Those are not the only 2 points you can choose, but those are 2 points that are on exact intersections. Now, let me show you what not to do. This one is not at an exact intersection. Do not choose that one. Even though you may believe that, oh, I know that this is halfway, you can't always count on that, okay? Make sure it's at an exact intersection. And something like this. Don't choose that. You don't know exactly where that is, and it's going to make it more difficult for you. So don't choose this. Don't choose that. Okay, third step. Determine the rise. Count how many spaces did your point go up. So we'll start on the left-hand side, and we just want to see how many spaces did it go up. It went up 1, 2 spaces. All right, So now we want to do the run. Step 4. Determine the run, count how many spaces did it go to the right. So if we start at the point that it went rows, we're just going to go across and count. It went across 1. Now we'll put that in our rise over run formula. How many spaces did it go up? 2. Divided by how many spaces did it go to the right? 1. And 2 divided by 1 really just means 2. There you go. There's your slope. Rise over run just gave us our slope. Okay, let's try it again with another graph. Now, same steps, nothing changes. First step, to see if the graph is going up or going down. Now, in this case, we can see that the graph is clearly going down, so that's going to yield us a negative number. All right, step 2, choose 2 exact points. Once again, it has to be at an exact corner of an intersection. So we'll choose one here, and we'll choose another one here. Again, you did not have to choose those 2 points. You could have chosen other points as well, but those are just the 2 ones we chose to show exact intersections. And again, don't do this. Don't choose something like this that's not in an exact intersection. Don't choose something like this that is also not an exact intersection. So don't choose this. Don't choose that. Okay, third step, determine the rise. Count how many spaces up or down. Now, in this case, our graph is going down, so we're going to count how many spaces did it go down. Okay, we can see it went down to this level, and it went down 1, 2, 3 spaces. If it went down 3 spaces, that would be considered -3. Now, step 4, determine the run. How many spaces did it go to the right? Now, we just need to count 1, 2, 3, 4. It went 4 spaces to the right. So that would be, if we have our rise over run formula, which is delta y over delta x, which is considered rise over run, our rise was -3 and our run was 4, -3/4. Now we're going to talk about the concept of Y-intercept, which is very, very easy. Y-intercept is simple. It's just where does the graph cross the y-axis? So we're going to take a look at a couple of graphs and see if we can figure that out. Now, just remember, the y-axis is the one that goes up and down, which I highlighted in red. So our graph is going to be in blue. So basically, we're just trying to see where does the blue line cross the red line. And if you look at our first example, it crosses right here. Now, where is that? If it's 1 space underneath the 0, then of course it would have to be -1. So our y-intercept would just be -1. Okay, let's look at another one where we can see, okay, now the blue line crosses and I've highlighted the y-axis. Now, where does this consider to be crossed? So we see the 5, it goes up, it goes up, it goes up. That would probably be right here, which would be considered +8. Okay, let's try another one. And here, this is probably one of the easiest because it crosses right there in the middle. And we all know the middle is considered to be 0. So our y-intercept would be, and we'll just put +0 or +0 if we want to put anything. In our last graph, we can see the blue line crosses down here at the bottom, right there. And what number would that be? It's right above -5, which of course would put us at a y-intercept of -4. All right, now we get to the good part. Now we get to see, let's put all this together. Because now we're going to have to put the rise over run, combine it with the y-intercept in order to get our final equation. Luckily for us, it's the same easy steps as before. Our first step is to pick 2 exact points. And again, it doesn't matter where you pick the points as long as they're exact. And I pick a point here, and I'll pick another point here. Again, there are many other good points that you could have chosen. I just happen to choose these 2. All right, step 2. We're going to determine the rise over run. Now remember, this graph is considered to be going down. So because this is a downward graph, we know it's going to give us a negative number. So the rise, if we start the first one, it's actually going down, and it's going down 1, 2 spaces. Well, if it's going down 2 spaces, we're going to put -2. And we'll put the -2 at the top of our fraction to determine our rise. Now, let's come up with the run. So now we have 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then we'll put that at the bottom. So -2/3, that is our slope. Okay, third step. See where the line crosses the y-axis. And if we look, we can see it crosses right here. But where is that? It's one level above the 5, which will put it at +6. Now, let's put it all together. Now, we have everything we need, okay? So our equation to give us our slope and our y-intercept is y equals mx plus b, where m is our slope. Our slope means rise over run. In this case, we got -2/3. So we're going to put -2/3 x. Now we just need to put our y-intercept. And our y-intercept in this case crossed that +6. So we would put down +6. And we're done. That's it. Y equals -2/3 x plus 6. Okay, let's look at another one and make sure we're on the right track. Okay, one more graph, and it follows the same easy steps. Where, step 1, pick 2 exact points. So I'll choose one here, and I'll choose one there. Again, you could have chosen different points. Just make sure they're at exact intersections. Okay, step 2, determine the rise over run. This graph is considered to be going up, so therefore it's going to give us positive numbers. So it goes up. We just need to count how many spaces. 1, 2, 3. So because it went up 3 spaces, we'll put the rise at the top as 3. Now we need to check the run. How many spaces did it go to the right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 spaces to the right. And that is our slope, 3/5. Okay, step 3. See where the line crosses the y-axis. And you can clearly see it's one step underneath the 0, which is right here. If it's one step below 0, that would be -1. So our y-intercept, -1. Now, again, let's put it all together. Our equation is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope, b is the y-intercept. So our slope is 3/5 x, and our y-intercept, as we stated earlier, is -1. Done. Hey friends, thanks for watching the Awesome Algebro. Please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe for the most awesome algebra tips available. And again, thank you for making me a part of your day.